Hi, today we're going to do Poetry Lesson 2. Today we're going to plan our first poem. Before we do, let's remember our poetry characteristics. So remember, poems are different from stories and informational articles. Poems are usually short. They're composed of stanzas instead of paragraphs. They may have rhyming or rhythm. They may use repeating words or repetition. And they use words in creative and interesting ways, which is called figurative language. Poems, remember, may or may not use punctuation. In our last lesson, we learned how to make similes. Remember, similes are when we compare two different things, using the words either as or like. Last time, you did this paper. Let's review some of the similes on the page. So for example, number 4 said, his words burn like fire. So we were comparing words to a fire. Both are similar because they can burn. In this simile, we use the word like. In number 5, we said the man is as mean as a snake. So we compared the man to the snake. They're similar because they're both mean. And we use the word as to make the comparison. And then in number 6, we said your eyes shine like stars. So we compared eyes to stars because they both shine. And we used the word like. On the bottom, you wrote 2 similes about yourself. On this page, the first simile is, I am as quick as a rabbit. And the second simile is, I am like a fish. Today, we're going to start planning a mystery creature poem. Here's an example of what a mystery creature poem is. While I'm reading it, I want you to look and see if you can see any similes in this poem. Scritchy flap. Ugly, mean, scaly. As rough as sandpaper. Everyone wonders, does he have any friends? Nobody knows. Scritchy flap can turn invisible like air. So were you able to see any similes in this poem? This poem actually has 2 similes. One simile is on line 3 of the poem, as rough as sandpaper. So they're comparing scritchy flap to sandpaper, using the word as. The other simile occurs on the last line in the poem. Scritchy flap can turn invisible like air. So we're comparing scritchy flap, he's invisible, like air. So we're comparing invisible to air, and we're using the word like. You are going to begin planning your own mystery creature poem. To do that, you need this paper in front of you. You're going to use this paper to create your own mystery monster. So first, you need to think of a creature name. What do you want to call your monster? Well, I think I'm going to come up with a creature that is named Rubber Green. So I'm going to write Rubber Green where the name is. Next, I need to come up with 2 adjectives to describe, I need to come up with adjectives to describe Rubber Green. Remember, adjectives are words that tell what it looks like. You need to come up with at least 3. And you're creating your own creature, so you can come up with any way you want to describe him. So Rubber green, I think, is going to be kind of wet. So I'm going to write the word wet. He's also going to be kind of soft. And he's squishy. So these are the 3 adjectives that I'm going to write to describe my creature. On number 3, you're going to write a simile that also describes him. So going along with my theme of wet, soft, and squishy, I'm going to say that rubber green is as slimy as a snail. So there is my simile. And then for the next one, 4 and 5, you're going to come up with a question that people might have about your creature. So the line starts with everyone wonders. So what kind of question would people maybe wonder about my rubber green monster? Well, he's kind of wet, he's squishy, he's slimy. So maybe everyone might wonder how yucky he is to touch. So that's going to be my question. How yucky he is to touch. And then, on the bottom, you're going to pick a secret ability and make it into a simile. So what's something that your creature can do? Like a secret power or ability? Well, I'm thinking rubber green is going to be really good at bouncing. So I'm going to fill in the sentence by saying nobody knows, and I'm going to put my monster's name or creature's name here, rubber green can, and then here's what he can do. So rubber green can really bounce high, like, and now I've got to think of something that bounces high. Well, a rubber ball bounces high, so I'm going to write like a rubber ball. And now my plan for my poem is complete. I've started by writing my creature name, rubber green. Then I followed with 3 adjectives, wet, soft, and squishy. I've made a simile by writing as slimy as a snail. I've written a question that people might wonder about him, so everybody wonders how yucky he is to touch. And then I've come up with a secret ability or power, and I've turned it into a simile. So nobody knows rubber green can bounce high like a rubber ball. So my plan is done. You are going to use your paper to plan out your monster. But before you do, let me give you some describing words and powers that you might want to consider. So here are a list of good describing words that you might want to use, or you can definitely use your own. But here are just some to kind of get you started. So we have pretty, ugly, mean, kind, smart, tall, tiny, slow, swift, which means fast, scary, strange, loud, smelly, quiet, big, furry. So you can use any of these, or you can come up with your own describing. And then here are some examples of secret skills. So fly, run fast, breathe fire, turn invisible, climb any building, sting you, see through walls, disappear, or play music. And you can definitely, again, add your own secret skill that's not on the list. So now you can go ahead and plan out your creature. Have fun doing it and be as creative as you can. When you've finished your plan, you're ready to move on to the next lesson.